There are several kinds of stories concerning this subject, and we're going to tell one of the most popular ones. For this story, I need Maui. Okay? I need, let's see, I need Maui's mother, Huna. She's the one with the wisdom. Okay? I need 2 people to play alai birds. Alai birds, it's also called a coot. It's a duck-like bird. It's not a duck, but they swim like ducks and they have a bill almost like a duck. They're usually, the ones we have here are black and they have this red thing on the top of their head. Okay? So they're called alai. And so I need 2 alai birds. So first of all, a Maui. Maui, come on. Okay, good. And I need Hina, who can be seated. One of you people in the front row can be Hina. Would you like to be Hina? Real simple role. Okay. But profound. Okay? All right. And 2 alai birds. Okay? 2 of you come up, Barbara and Sabina. And you 2 will be off in this corner for now. Okay. Now, in this, again, all these stories of Maui take place so long ago. This is a time when human beings did not know how to make fire. And they had to eat food raw. And Maui is over here eating raw pig and not enjoying it at all. I mean, not only is it that, it is hard to eat. It's tough. Oh, boy. And so this is one of those times when Maui says, we have to do something different. So he knows that something different has to be done. He just doesn't know what to do. So he comes over. Who does he go to? His mom. Right, Mama Hina. And he asks her what to do. And so she thinks. Now she has to use her psychic intuition. And what comes to her is, first, you have to have fire. Now they know what fire is. Lightning has occurred. You know, there has been occasions where something was set on fire by lightning. And they've also seen what looked like little small lightnings in the forest, near the jungles and among the trees. And so Hina tunes in with her knowledge and says, the alai birds have the secret of fire. And Maui says, well, what good does that do me? And she says, you've got to go and capture an alai bird and make it tell you the secret of fire. So Maui, okay, he'll do that. So he goes out, and he goes out into the woods, and as he walks along, not making too much noise, he sees just kind of walk like that. Okay, all right. Here over under some trees are 2 alai birds sitting around the fire. And Maui sneaks up and steps on a branch that goes crack, and the alai birds quick shove out the fire, run away. And Maui tries to grab him, but he can't. So he lost him. He tries again, the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and every time they shake out the fire, run away, and he can't catch him. Finally, he starts to think. Now, Maui's intelligent too. He doesn't come up with many new ideas, but, you know, he's got smarts. And so he realizes that what he's going to have to do is sneak up on them at night. And he's going to have to be super quiet. Okay? So Maui does a spell of silence. So his body doesn't make any sound as he goes through the forest. And he sneaks up at night. And the alai birds are, around the fire at night talking and not paying any attention. And Maui sneaks up and grabs one of them. Okay. And the other one puts out the fire and runs away. And you can run all the way back down to your seat right now. Okay, good. All right. So the alai bird wants to get away, can't get away. Maui's got the bird. And he says, all right, bird, tell me the secret of fire. And the bird says, all right. Well, I hate to do this, but what you have to do is you rub 2 palm branches together. So Maui takes 2 palm branches, rubs them together. While Maui's rubbing them together, the bird tries to sneak off. But Maui grabs him. Not completely dumb, Maui, okay? And it doesn't work. So Maui takes the bird by the neck. Tell me the secret of fire. And the bird says, okay, you have to rub 2 pieces of bamboo together. So Maui gets the bamboo, and it doesn't work. So now Maui really throttles the bird. The bird realizes it finally doesn't have any more chance. It's going to lose its life if it doesn't tell. But the bird is smart, because the bird says, fire is in the water. And Maui is so surprised that he lets the bird go, and the bird disappears. And the bird can disappear, okay? Now Maui sits thinking, wait a minute, fire is in the water. That sounds like a riddle. And Maui loved riddles. So Maui thinks and thinks and thinks. All right, fire is in the water. What could that mean? Now Maui has been around a lot of places and done a lot of things. And Maui remembers that there are some certain phrases that are known in Hawaiian. Okay? And so Maui realizes and figures out that one of the meanings of, if you say fire is in the water, maybe it means the water's red. Now that's interesting because Waimea River means red water. One of the meanings of Waimea is red water. So Maui's got a piece of the riddle. All right. And what can you do with that? Waimea, or red water, is also a name for a hardwood tree, also called olomea. Okay, there's a connection. Now, that doesn't seem right. So he gets a piece of olomea wood and another piece of olomea wood and rubs them together, and it doesn't work. So he said, since this was a riddle, there's got to be something more to it. So he thinks and thinks and remembers that when all along the banks of the river, the Waimea River, there's a tree called hau. The one that you see that gives off the yellow blossoms that turn orange and red and fall under the water. And when a lot of them fall under the water, there's a Hawaiian phrase for that. It's called waiula iliahi, which means red water with a surface of fire. And then he says, well, now what causes that? The hau tree. So Maui gets over and gets a piece of hau wood and a piece of olomea wood, and he rubs them together. And first comes the dust, and then comes the glowing coals, and then comes the smoke, and then poof, there comes the fire. And that's how they made fire in the old days in Hawaii. They did it by rubbing one stick along a groove in a softer wood, hardwood in a softer wood. And as they did that, they produced fire. So Maui figured out the riddle, and humanity was saved and Maui got to eat kalua pig. All right, thank you very much. Riddles played a very important part in a lot of Hawaiian stories, okay? And there are all kinds of them. And in Maui, as some of the stories say, Maui was an expert at riddling. So the bird, you know, had its own chance. Maybe Maui wouldn't figure out the riddle and the secret would be saved, but Maui was clever and he figured it out. But see, I also tell this to show you all the different ways in which symbols could connect and be put together to mean something entirely different. So there's a lot of knowledge. Who knows? Maybe there's a riddle out there that no one has figured out yet that tells you how to make electricity, you know, without generator plants. Oh, that would be interesting. It might be out there. But the main idea behind this story and the principle it's based on is mana. Mana, which means inner power. Mana is a very misunderstood word. It's misunderstood by many people who use it today, and greatly misunderstood by anthropologists who think of it as some kind of mysterious fluid that fills the universe, that you magically call upon. And that's total nonsense. That's not what it means at all. And other people think it means energy. And you hear people talk about chi and ki and mana and prana, and it makes a nice rhyme, but mana doesn't belong in that list because mana is not energy. Mana is influence, expressed sometimes as authority. It's not a passive authority, which, you know, somebody has the authority but is not doing anything with it. That's not mana. Mana is the active authority. And authority is a word that comes from an older word meaning to create. Mana is the influence that something has. Now sometimes if something has a lot of energy, that has a lot of influence, and so there's a tie. But mana is not the energy. Someone can have mana if they have knowledge and know how to apply it. Someone can have mana if they have a high position in government. Governments themselves as a whole have mana to the degree that they can influence people and events. Okay? An individual has mana, which may come from their wisdom, which is when you put knowledge and practice together, and it may come from their skill. And today's world, and in a way in the old world, if you had different items, wealth can give a person mana if they know how to use it. The wealth sitting in the bank has no mana, except by the authority that other people give to it. Oh, you have $1 million, therefore I'll be nice to you. Okay, that can happen. But the mana of money is the influence it has in what it's actually used for, which is a type of barter, exchanging goods and services. So mana is this influence, and it comes from inside. The real mana comes from inside something. And the mana of an individual comes from inside them. And in this particular story, all the bird did was say some words. And Maui used his memory and his imagination and his ability to make meaning out of that and be able to create fire. And of course, the beautiful thing about Maui, he shared it with everybody else. Okay? And that's why we have fire today, thanks to Maui. Yes?
Yeah, and in many myths, fire is stolen. So it was kept by some kind of authority.
That's right.
And it was stolen. So
well, in a way, that happened here too. It was the secret of the alai birds. I didn't tell you one part of it, the story. And after Maui did discover, got the secret and he found it worked, he did catch the alai bird, and he was so angry that he hit it with a stick of fire, it was a burning stick on the top of the head, and that's why they have that red piece today, right? That's also a part of the story. But you see, he had to, in this story, he didn't actually steal the secret. He, in a way, he forced out the secret, but he had to still figure it out. See, he had to figure out the clues. So it's a little different. And a lot of the other stories around the world, what they do is they capture the fire, okay, and bring that down, and then the fire has to be kept alive, you know. But this is a different story because he caught the knowledge of how to make it. And other stories around the world don't usually explain it that way.